The headlines are screaming about a potential housing market crash due to the Chancellor's recent autumn budget. Homeowners fear a drop in property value, while hopeful buyers see opportunity. But the truth is complex, beyond dramatic headlines. The government's changes, especially to stamp duty, aim to shake things up. Will these changes make homes affordable or create new issues? Let's break it down simply: what the government has done, why, and what it means for you. Whether you're buying, selling, or renting, these changes impact you. Forget the panic. Let's calmly explore the situation. Knowledge is your best tool in these uncertain times. To predict the future of the UK housing market, we first need to get a clear picture of where things stand right now. The property market is always shifting, and understanding its current state is the foundation for any forecast. We must understand the present because every trend, every price movement, and every policy change builds on what's happening today. Only by examining the facts can we make sense of what might come next. Right now, the average UK house price sits at around $285,000. That's a slight drop compared to last year, but it's important to note that this isn't a dramatic fall, more of a gentle dip, reflecting a cautious market. For the past 18 months, prices have barely moved. The market has been flat, with little growth or decline. This period of stagnation suggests that buyers and sellers are both waiting for something to change, creating a sense of uncertainty and hesitation. High mortgage rates are a major factor holding buyers back. Many people who want to move or buy their first home are finding it difficult to afford the monthly payments. At the same time, sellers are reluctant to lower their asking prices, hoping for a better deal. It's a real tug of war. On one side, high borrowing costs make it tough for buyers to enter the market. On the other, a shortage of available homes means sellers feel less pressure to cut prices. This standoff is keeping the market in a state of limbo. But the UK isn't just one housing market. Each region tells a different story, with prices and trends varying widely from place to place. What's happening in one city or county might be completely different from another. In London, for example, prices remain much higher than the national average, but the capital has also seen some of the biggest recent falls. The high cost of living and changes in demand have hit London especially hard. Meanwhile, regions like the Northwest and Scotland are bucking the trend, with prices actually rising in some areas. Local economies, job opportunities, and housing supply all play a role in these regional differences. Local job markets and the number of new homes being built can have a bigger impact on prices than national averages. In some towns, a new employer or a wave of construction can shift the market almost overnight. Before the recent budget announcement, the market was stuck. Prices were high, but growth had stalled. Many properties sat unsold, and both buyers and sellers were waiting for a sign of change. The main barrier was the cost of borrowing. High mortgage rates meant that even those who wanted to buy often couldn't get approved, or found the repayments too steep. This created a stalemate, with little movement in either direction. The government's budget announcement is like a big stone being dropped into this still pond. Everyone is watching to see what effect it will have. Will it finally break the deadlock? The question now is, will the budget create just a few ripples, or will it send a wave through the market that changes everything? The answer could shape the housing market for months, or even years, to come. Understanding this flat, nervous market is essential if you want to predict what's next. Whether you're a buyer, seller, or just watching from the sidelines, knowing the current dynamics helps you make better decisions. The budget aims to shake things up, introducing new policies and incentives. But, will these changes be enough to get the market moving again, or will uncertainty continue to rule? Let's take a closer look at the possible outcomes and what they could mean for house prices, buyers and sellers across the UK. If you want to predict where house prices are heading, it's crucial to understand the forces that drive them up or down. The housing market is influenced by a complex mix of economic, social, and political factors, but some key drivers stand out above the rest. At the heart of it all are three main factors: borrowing costs, wage growth, and the balance between supply and demand. These elements interact in powerful ways to shape the market. When interest rates are low, borrowing money to buy a home becomes much cheaper. This encourages more people to take out mortgages, increasing demand for homes and often pushing prices higher. For many buyers, lower monthly payments make homeownership more accessible, fueling competition for available properties. On the flip side, when interest rates rise, as they did in 2023, mortgages become more expensive. Higher monthly payments can put homeownership out of reach for some, reducing demand and putting downward pressure on prices. This can lead to a slowdown in the market, with fewer buyers able to afford new homes. Wage growth is another crucial factor. When people's incomes rise, they feel more confident about their finances and are more likely to buy homes. Higher wages also mean buyers can afford larger mortgages, which supports higher house prices. Conversely, if wages stagnate, fewer people can afford to move or upgrade, which can dampen demand. The supply and demand balance is perhaps the most fundamental driver. If not enough new homes are being built to meet the needs of a growing population, competition for existing properties intensifies, pushing prices up. Long queues at open houses and crowded neighborhoods are signs of this imbalance. Government policies play a big role here. Planning regulations, building incentives, and restrictions can all affect how many homes get built. Decisions made in Parliament and local councils can either ease or worsen the housing shortage, directly impacting prices. In recent years, a combination of low interest rates and limited housing supply has driven prices to record highs. Estate agents have struggled to keep up with demand, and many construction projects have failed to deliver enough new homes. Now the picture is changing. Interest rates are rising, and wage growth has been modest. This creates a more complicated environment for buyers and sellers alike, with some expecting prices to fall while others hope for stability. The government's autumn budget is designed to address some of these challenges by adjusting taxes, spending, and incentives. Policymakers hope to influence borrowing costs, wage growth, and housing supply. But will these measures be enough to stabilize the market or even boost it? Many buyers, sellers, and industry experts are watching closely, uncertain about what the future holds. All these forces, interest rates, wages, supply, and government policy, interact in complex ways. Understanding how they work together is key to making smart decisions in the housing market. The future of the market will depend on how these drivers evolve in the coming months and years. Keeping an eye on these trends can help you anticipate changes and plan accordingly. By understanding these factors, you'll be better equipped to navigate the ever-changing housing landscape, whether you're buying, selling, or just keeping an eye on the market. Next, we'll take a closer look at how the latest budget could impact these dynamics and what it might mean for you as a potential homebuyer or investor. In the next scene, we'll dive into the specific changes for buyers and what you need to know to make informed decisions in today's market. The autumn budget brought major changes to stamp duty. First-time buyers now pay no tax on properties up to $425,000. Others pay no tax on the first $500,000 of their property's value. This seems like a big win for buyers, saving thousands in tax. The government hopes this offsets high mortgage rates, boosting demand. But there's a catch: sellers might raise prices, negating savings. Previous stamp duty cuts showed this pattern. The changes are permanent, not a temporary holiday. They aim to stimulate demand despite high borrowing costs. The policy could inflate prices without improving affordability. First-time buyers save on tax but still face strict mortgage tests. The real challenge remains the high cost of borrowing. The stamp duty cut occurs amid economic challenges, inflation, and interest rates. Inflation has fallen but remains above target, affecting the economy. The Bank of England's interest rate influences mortgage rates. Rates are high to combat inflation, impacting borrowing costs. Experts predict cautious rate cuts starting mid-2025. High rates restrict borrowing despite stamp duty savings. The market faces conflicting forces: tax cuts versus high rates. Buyers' ability to purchase depends on income and mortgage rates. Current mortgage rates are higher than pre-2022 levels. The government's policy helps upfront costs, but not monthly affordability. Let's take a closer look at how these new rules are shaping the experience of a typical homebuyer in today's market. The recent changes have sparked a lot of discussion, but what do they actually mean for someone looking to buy their first home? Meet Alex and Ben, a young couple eager to get on the property ladder. They've managed to save a $40,000 deposit after years of careful budgeting, skipping holidays, and cutting back on luxuries. Like many first-time buyers, they're excited, but also anxious about the process. They've set their sights on a modern flat priced at $350,000. Under the old rules, buying this property would have meant paying a hefty $5,000 in stamp duty, a significant extra cost on top of their deposit and moving expenses. Now, thanks to the new threshold, they won't pay any stamp duty at all on this purchase. This change instantly puts $5,000 back in their pocket, making a real difference to their budget. That $5,000 saving is tangible. It could go towards furnishing their new home, covering legal fees, or simply boosting their savings for unexpected costs. For many buyers, this feels like a welcome relief in an otherwise expensive process. However, there's another side to the story. With more buyers able to afford homes, sellers may be tempted to raise asking prices, effectively absorbing some or all of the tax cut. This is a common trend when incentives are introduced. So, while Alex and Ben save on stamp duty, they could find that the overall price of homes in their area starts to creep up, potentially offsetting their savings. The real challenge, though, is securing a mortgage. With a $40,000 deposit, they'll need a $310,000 loan. At a 4.5% interest rate, that's a significant financial commitment, and lenders will scrutinize their income and spending. Their monthly repayments would be around $1,570, subject to strict affordability checks. This is a major outgoing, and it's crucial they feel confident about managing these payments long-term. It's important to remember that while the stamp duty saving is helpful, it doesn't affect their income or the interest rate on their mortgage. The cost of borrowing remains high, and that's the biggest hurdle for most buyers today. For Alex and Ben, and many like them, the largest barrier isn't the upfront tax, but the ongoing cost of repaying a large mortgage at today's interest rates. This is where many buyers feel the real pinch. So, while the stamp duty cut is a step in the right direction, it doesn't solve the bigger issue of affordability. Buyers still need to weigh up their long-term financial security before making such a big commitment. Navigating these challenges requires careful planning and a clear understanding of the market. For first-time buyers, the process can feel overwhelming, with many factors to consider beyond just the headline, savings. In the next scene, we'll explore the broader implications of these changes and what they could mean for the housing market as a whole. Stay with us. Labor's housing policy focuses on supply, pledging 1.5 million new homes. The goal: meet demand and make homes affordable long-term. Proposed reforms include easing planning laws and using gray belt land. However, achieving this target faces challenges: skilled worker shortages and rising costs. Planning reform is politically difficult with local opposition. Overcoming these obstacles is crucial for success. The ambition is right, but practical and political hurdles remain. What do experts predict for house prices? Most agree the stamp duty cut will prevent a significant fall in 2025. Prices are expected to remain flat or slightly rise. Long-term forecasts are more optimistic, with gradual growth. As inflation stabilizes and rates fall, mortgage affordability improves. Prices may rise 15–20% over 5 years, slower than past booms. The stamp duty cut supports the market short-term. Long-term growth depends on economic stability and rate cuts. Forecasts are uncertain, sensitive to economic changes. Who benefits from the current market situation? Homeowners are relieved as a price crash is avoided. First-time buyers face mixed outcomes, tax savings versus high prices. Sellers benefit from increased buyer interest and stable prices. The budget prevents a slump, but doesn't solve affordability issues. The market is stable but challenging for aspiring buyers. The government's tax cuts and high interest rates create a balanced market. Stability is likely, but not the relief many hoped for. The housing market remains complex, with winners and losers. Let's conclude with the broader implications for the future.